I heard your sigh even before it left your lips. In that instant when the weight of the world seemed too much for your weary shoulders, you came here seeking an answer, secretly asking, Lord, correcting my ways is what I need, but I ask that you do it without crushing me, for my heart already feels small and wounded. Know, my daughter, that you did not arrive at this meeting by chance. I myself prepared this moment to restore every fragment of your soul that was lost along the way. There is something I saw in the silence of your room, something you haven't told anyone, and that today I begin to reveal. If you remain with me until the last second of this conversation, I will show you that my correction is not a whip, but an embrace that adjusts what was out of place. And I will give you an answer that will make your chest breathe a sigh of relief for the first time in a long time. If this word of mine is reaching your soul now, tell me below what your name is, from what place in this vast world you are listening to me, and what time the clock shows in your corner of prayer. I want you to understand that you are not just a number or a crowd. I know you by name. And now, as a cry that springs from the depths of your truth, right here in the comments, Lord my God, I am here. I signed up because I love you and want to hear you. By doing this, you open the door for my voice to echo louder. Stay with me until the end, for I have prepared a phrase that will be whispered directly to your spirit when everything seems complete. And whoever declares it with faith will see the floodgates of heaven move. I see when your hands tremble as you hold that bill you don't know how to pay, or when the silence of your kitchen seems to scream the absences that hurt you. I know the feeling that the sky seems made of bronze, heavy and insurmountable, but I assure you that my hand is upon you. Just as I did with the psalmist David, who cried out for mercy while being molded, I am molding you with a gentleness that the world could never possess. For it is written in Hebrews chapter 12, verse 6, For the Lord disciplines the one he loves, and he chastens everyone he accepts as his son. Notice that my correction is the highest proof of my fatherly love. I would not leave you in error, because I love you too much to see you lose what I have designed for your future. But the journey of restoration is only beginning. There is a secret about how I work in the darkness of your pain that you do not yet fully understand. Before the sun sets on your problem, there is something I need to show you about what really happens when I remove what no longer serves you. If this beginning touched your heart, leave your sign of gratitude and I invite you to walk another step with me on this journey. What do you feel needs adjusting in your life today so that peace may reign again? Right here. Father, mold me. I haven't yet shown you what's hidden around the next bend in the path, and what I have to say next will change how you face your failures. I see when you lie down and the pillow feels like it's made of stones, not from physical exhaustion, but from the weight of everything you carry in your soul. There are nights when the cold of dawn seeps in through the cracks in the window, but the most cutting cold is the one that comes from your own memory, reminding you of choices you would make differently if you could go back. You look in the mirror and sometimes you don't recognize the strong woman I created. You only see the marks of failures and the weight of a guilt that whispers to you that you are not worthy of my kingdom. But listen carefully to what your Father is telling you now. I did not come to crush you under the weight of your mistakes, but to remove from your shoulders this burden that was never yours to carry alone. Guilt is a voice that imprisons you in yesterday, but my voice is the breath that pushes you toward tomorrow. You fear that my correction will be a final judgment, a pointing of fingers that will leave you without ground. But my correction is like the sun rising to dispel the fog. It hurts only because it reveals what was hidden, but it heals because it brings the light of truth. I saw you in that moment of solitude, sitting in the corner of the sofa, with the weight of the room's silence on your chest, feeling that time had passed and you had failed those you loved or yourself. At that instant I was there, not with a weight to sink you, but with my hands outstretched to lift you up. For it is written in the book of Psalms, chapter 103, verse 12, As far as the east is from the west, so far has he removed our transgressions from us. Do you understand the immensity of this? I do not keep a record of debts against you. When I correct you, I am merely pruning the dry branches so that your sap may flow freely again and you may flourish as you never imagined. The world demands perfection from you and discards you at the first fall, but I demand only sincerity and embrace you precisely when you fall. This guilt that consumes your energy is a lie that prevents you from seeing the banquet I have prepared before you. Let my love wash away your past. I am restoring your identity as a daughter, and while I work, something new is being planted in the soil of your heart, a seed of hope that the enemy cannot uproot. But pay attention, for what I am about to tell you about the harvest to come is what will truly sustain your next years. If this word has lifted a weight from your chest, show me that you receive this forgiveness by clicking on the gratitude symbol in this video and sending this message to a friend who lives imprisoned by the past. I want to ask you, what burden are you laying at my feet right now, never to claim again? Write your declaration of freedom in the comments. I am free, but I haven't finished showing you how I care for you. There's something about how I honor your gratitude that you need to hear now, before the next revelation reaches your heart. I see the gentle movement of your soul, like someone waking from a deep sleep and realizing that morning has arrived. When I remove pain and guilt, I make room for something new to grow, gratitude. You know that this voice speaking to you now is not a product of chance, but a constant care I have shown for your story. This channel is a space I prepared so that you and so many other daughters could find my embrace amidst the noise of the world. If your heart feels touched, understand that you can help keep this light burning for others. If it is possible for you, only if your spirit feels this peace, transform your gratitude into a seed of love for this work. Consider my love and the sacrifice of my son Jesus for you, and contribute using the link in the description of this video and in the first pinned comment. There you will find the place where your offering of love can be deposited before me, the Creator of all things. You can contribute any amount your soul desires. If you feel like giving a different amount, just type what your heart dictates. Always remember, only what fits within your peace. I receive each gesture with love. The size of the offering in the eyes of men does not matter. What matters is the sincerity of the heart with which you give. For what is little for you can be much for the one who receives it. Whoever contributes any amount with a heart full of faith, don't forget to include your name and city, along with the gesture. On the first day of the following month, I will make a special video in this house, Divine Love, the Voice of God, where your name will be remembered and covered by divine blessings. For it is written in the book of 2 Corinthians chapter 9, verse 7, each one must give as he has decided in his heart, not reluctantly or under compulsion, for God loves a cheerful giver. Every offering made in faith is a seed before me, your Lord, and I will not fail to make any of them bear fruit. I see in secret, and I will reward you in the sight of all. Remain until the end of this message, because I still want to touch your heart with my voice and reveal what I have prepared for your silence. Have you ever noticed how the silence of your home sometimes weighs more than any noisy conversation outside? There's a moment, between dusk and the lights coming on, when the walls seem to hold echoes of everything you haven't yet resolved. I saw it when you were alone in the kitchen, staring into nothingness while the water boiled, and a self-critical thought struck you like a blow. You felt that tightness in your chest, that urge to ask for forgiveness even without knowing exactly where to begin. At that instant, the floor of your kitchen became a sacred altar, and your tears, which fell discreetly while you cleaned the table, were gathered by me as the purest prayer that has ever ascended to my throne. Many times, you run from my correction because the world has taught you that to correct is to humiliate. You think that if I point out what needs to be changed, I will be diminishing you. But look at my hands. They don't hold stones. They hold balm. That early morning, when the cold seemed to emanate from within and you couldn't sleep, I was sitting by your bedside, waiting for you to stop trying to fix yourself alone. My correction isn't a cry of anger. It's the whisper of the Holy Spirit telling you, my daughter, this way is safer. I don't want to crush you. I only want you to stop carrying what makes you stumble. I remember when you were a child and were afraid of making mistakes and being punished. You brought that fear into your adult life, into your relationship with me. But I am not like the men who hurt you. I see your weakness, the trembling in your hands as you open a difficult message, the weariness in your eyes that no night's sleep seems to resolve. I am near, so near that I can feel the accelerated beating of your heart when anxiety tries to take the place of my peace. For it is written in the book of Psalms, chapter 34, verse 18, "The Lord is near to the broken-hearted and saves the crushed in spirit." This is my promise to you today. Your brokenness is not your end. It is the gateway to my glory in your home. I am restoring the structure of your inner self piece by piece with the patience of an artisan who loves his work. Do not fear my adjustment, for it is what will ensure that you do not break under the weight of the storms that are yet to come. If you felt my embrace now, in this silence that once frightened you, leave your sign that you hear me. I ask you tenderly, what is your heart trying to say to God today, now that the masks have fallen? Write here in the comments the word of our reconstruction, my support. But listen, the loneliness of your early mornings is what has most drained your hope, and I know that you need something to speak to you when everyone else is silent. I have prepared special care for these moments, and I will show you now. I see how your heart yearns for constant guidance, something to hold your hand firmly when the noise of your daily worries tries to drown out my voice within you. The restoration I began in you today must not cease when this meeting ends. I desire to be present in each of your silent dawns, being the light that dispels the shadows of your uncertainties and the remedy for the wounds that still burn. Therefore, if you feel in your spirit the desire to go deeper in this communion with me, I have prepared something that I wrote with immense affection and care for all my beloved sons and daughters. It is a gift in the form of a daily journey, the digital book I called Divine Love Devotional, The Voice of God. It was designed to be your refuge in silence and intimacy, guiding your steps day after day as a faithful companion for your hours of solitude. You can find the way to access it in the link I left below in the description of this video, and also in the first pinned comment. But listen carefully to what your Father is telling you now. If you cannot do this today, do not feel sad, and do not allow condemnation to enter your heart. Stay here with me, focus on my voice, for I will continue to strengthen and sustain you through this message that I still have to deliver to you. And so, that your spirit may rest and you may have no doubt or confusion, know that as soon as you register, all instructions will arrive very simply at the email address you provide. There, I will show you the exact step-by-step process to begin this journey of healing and daily constancy by my side. For it is written, "Teach me to do your will, for you are my God. May your good spirit lead me on level ground." Psalm 143, verse 10. This devotional will be like a balm for your weariness and a sure map for your new beginnings. Now I ask that you take a deep breath, calm your soul, and prepare your inner self, for my correction is about to become your greatest layer of protection. You need to understand the vital difference between the weight of punishment and the lightness of my discipline. Stay here, for there are still secrets of my kingdom that I want to whisper in your heart before this day ends. Write here in the comments to seal this moment of surrender. Guide me, Lord. I haven't finished showing you the beauty of the reconstruction I am doing in you. What comes next will open your eyes to the deliverance I have already given you. Many times, my daughter, you confuse my hand that pulls you back with the hand that pushes you down. The world has taught you that when something goes wrong, it's because you are being punished. You grew up hearing that every mistake would have a bitter price, and so you began to look to heaven with the fear of someone expecting a blow. But listen to what your Father tells you now. Punishment looks to the past and to the debt, but my discipline looks to your future and to your fruit. I am not charging you for what you have already lost. I am investing in what you will become. Remember that door that closed last month, when you cried in the darkness of your room, feeling like you had failed again. You felt the weight of the silence and thought it was my abandonment. But in truth, I was only putting up an invisible fence to protect you from an abyss that your human eyes could not yet see. Punishment would be letting you follow a path that would destroy you. Discipline is holding your arm firmly, even if it causes a little discomfort now so that you don't get lost forever. I saw when you stared at the phone, waiting for an answer that never came, and your heart felt crushed by rejection. At that moment, I wasn't punishing you, I was freeing you from a snare that you yourself didn't have the strength to untie. For it is written in the book of Proverbs chapter 3, verse 12, "For the Lord disciplines those he loves, as a father, the son in whom he delights." Note the sweetness of this promise. I rebuke you because I love you, because I see in you a beauty that you yourself have not yet discovered. If I did not love you, I would leave you to your own devices, but because you are my precious jewel, I do not allow the dust of the world to extinguish your brilliance. My discipline is like pruning the vine. It may seem that I am taking something away from you, but I am only making room for life to flow more strongly in your veins. I know the trembling in your hands when you face a situation that seems greater than your ability to handle. The fear of being judged by others, or of being seen as someone who has failed in life, is what hurts you the most. But I tell you, for me, you have already succeeded. The process of correction is my way of saying that you still have usefulness in my kingdom. Do not feel crushed by the adjustment I am making today in your home, in your thoughts, and in your priorities. I am only aligning your heart with my throne. If you can now see that every no I gave you was in fact a deliverance of love, record that here so that your faith becomes visible. What do you feel God is protecting you from today, even if it still hurts a little? Write our word of trust in the comments, your zeal. But I haven't finished rebuilding what time has taken away. There's something about the wounds the world has inflicted on you, those that no one sees beneath your clothes and your forced smile, that I will begin to restore right now. You thought some pieces were lost forever, but I kept each one of them. And I will show you how I put them back together. I saw you try with your own trembling hands to piece together the fragments of that dream that shattered on the floor of your reality. You looked at the shards and felt that your life resembled that broken glass, impossible to return to what it was before. The world wounded you with words that pierced your flesh like thorns, words from those who should have protected you, but who ended up diminishing you. I was there, in the corner of that dark room, while you wiped your eyes to hide the tears of those who deeply disappointed you. I saw the weariness in your eyes and the weight of the silence that settled between you and the people you love most. You thought that, because you were broken, I would no longer be useful to your fragments, but it is precisely in your brokenness that my glory finds space to shine. You carry scars that no one sees beneath that smile you maintain so as not to worry others. There is a specific kind of pain, the kind that arises when you remember a promise made to you that was forgotten, or a betrayal that cut your heart like a razor. You felt your dignity taken away and your worth reduced to nothing. But listen to what your Creator tells you. I am the God who wastes nothing. I am gathering every piece of your heart that was thrown away by careless hands. I don't use human glue to restore you. I use the fire of my love to fuse your fragments into something new, stronger and more beautiful than the original version. For it is written in the book of Psalms, chapter 147, verse 3, He heals the broken-hearted and binds up their wounds. Notice that I not only close the wound, I tend to the inflammation. I cleanse the impurity that the hatred of others has left in you. I am restoring your ability to trust, your ability to dream without fear, and your joy in waking up without feeling that the day will be an unbearable burden. Those who saw you on the ground, weeping because of humiliation, will have to look up to see the work I am finishing in your life. The world broke your confidence, but I am building a fortress within you that no cursed word can tear down. I remember when you were sitting on the edge of your bed, phone in hand, waiting for a message that would bring peace but received only indifference. That night, the cold of dawn seemed to freeze your soul. But right there, I began to stitch together the edges of your wounded soul. You are not wasting time while you wait for my restoration. You are gaining a strength that only those who survive the desert possess. My divine patience is infinite, and I will not rest until I see your face reflecting my light again, without the shadows of past pain. If you feel that my spirit is applying balm to your wounds now, leave a sign of your surrender. I ask you with the depth of a father, what painful memory do you give me today so that I may transform it into a scar of victory? Write here in the comments our declaration of healing. I am restored. But pay attention, my daughter. True strength will not come from your attempt to be unbreakable, but from something that happens when you finally give up fighting against me and decide to surrender completely to my rest. What I will reveal to you next is the secret of the strength that is born from your greatest weakness. You have spent too much time trying to be the pillar that sustains everything and everyone around you, my daughter. I saw the accumulated weariness in your shoulders and how your breathing becomes heavy when the sun sets and the city lights begin to shine outside. You think that being strong is never falling, is keeping your face held high while your chest cries out for help. But the truth I want to teach you today is that your true strength is not born from your solitary resistance, but from your total surrender to my arms. When you try to carry the world on your shoulders, you end up crushing yourself under a weight that was never yours. I saw you sitting on the bathroom floor, your forehead pressed against the cold tiles, feeling like you had no more strength left for the next day. At that moment, at your most extreme limit, I was there, waiting for you to stop fighting against your own limitations and decide to rest in me. You fear that if you surrender, everything will collapse. You fear that the control you strive so hard to maintain will slip through your fingers like fine sand. But listen to what your Father tells you. What is in your hands may fall, but what is in my hands is secure for eternity. The strength the world offers you is a strength of appearances, forcing you to hide your vulnerability behind armor too heavy for your heart. My strength, however, manifests itself precisely when you admit that you can no longer cope. I know the sound of the clock on the wall during your sleepless nights, when the noise of each second feels like a hammer striking your anxiety. You don't need to be unbreakable to be loved by me. For it is written in the book of 2 Corinthians chapter 12, verse 9, "But he said to me, 'My grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. Therefore I will boast all the more gladly about my weaknesses, so that Christ's power may rest on me.' Understand, my little one, that when you reach the end of your capabilities, that is when my power begins to act in an extraordinary way. I did not call you to be a fortress of stone, but to be a clay vessel that allows my light to shine through your cracks. Let go of control for a moment. Release the weight of this situation that you cannot change with your own hands. When you surrender, you are not giving up. You're allowing the Creator of the universe to take the direction of your life. I saw the trembling in your hands as you held the phone, waiting for news that never came, and I saw how your chest heaved with fear of the future. But now, I am breathing a peace that surpasses all understanding upon your weary mind. You will see that by letting go of the reins, you will finally begin to fly. The correction I made in you was not to weaken you, but to remove the thick shell that prevented you from feeling my gentle touch. Now that you are disarmed, you are ready to receive true spiritual authority over your home and your family. If you feel your burden has become lighter now that you understand you don't need to fight alone, leave your mark of faith on this encounter. I ask you with a love that knows no end, what are you ceasing to try to control now so that I can act? Right here in the comments our key to surrender, my rest. But don't be mistaken in thinking the journey ends here in the valley. I am drawing something new, something your eyes have not yet seen and your ears have not yet heard. There is a horizon that I have prepared especially for you, far beyond the dark clouds that today try to hide your sun, and I will take you there in the next step we take together. Now that your hands have been released from the reins that hurt you, I invite you to lift your eyes. Look beyond the fogged windows of your soul, beyond the mist that nights of weeping have left on your face. I see you standing by the window, with the already cold cup of coffee in your hands, watching the sky change color and wondering if the sun will shine again with the same intensity as before. You thought that the winter of your correction had killed the flowers in your garden, but I tell you, the ice only protected the roots of what I am about to make sprout. The horizon that is drawn before you now was not traced by human hands, nor does it depend on the circumstances that today try to surround you. It was designed by my hands, with inks of mercy and colors of a new beginning that you cannot yet imagine. I know the desert feeling you crossed, where each step seemed heavier than the last, and the thirst for hope punished your spirit. I saw when you looked at your plans and watched them crumble like sand castles, feeling that life had left you behind. But in truth, I was only clearing the ground. I was removing the debris of what was fleeting to lay the foundations for what will be eternal in your story. What you call loss, I call space for the new. I am preparing a table for you in places where before there was only scarcity, and I am opening doors in walls that you yourself considered insurmountable. For it is written in the book of the prophet Isaiah, chapter 43, verse 19, Behold, I am doing a new thing. Now it springs forth. Do you not perceive it? I will make a way in the wilderness and rivers in the desert. Can you perceive the movement of my waters reaching your dry land? This river of restoration will not only water the surface, it will reach the depths of your inheritance, changing the fortunes of your house and the destiny of your children. I did not correct you to leave you in the desert. I disciplined you so that you would have the strength to govern in the place I am giving you. I see the light returning to your eyes, even if timidly. I feel the beating of your heart calming as my voice penetrates the cracks of your uncertainty. You are no longer that woman who entered this message carrying the weight of a broken world. You are becoming the woman who walks on the waters of my promise. The horizon is clear, and what I have prepared for your tomorrow will make yesterday's pains seem like a distant dream. You will see that every tear that watered your silence has become a seed of joy that now begins to bloom before all those who doubted you. If you can see, through faith, the light of this new day that I am bringing into your life, seal this moment of spiritual vision with me. I ask you with the authority of one who governs time, what is the dream you had buried, and that you feel I am breathing life into again today? Write here in the comments our declaration of hope. New time. But quiet your spirit, and do not withdraw now. We have reached the most sacred moment of our conversation, where the final seal will be placed upon your soul, and the secret phrase, the one I promised you at the beginning, will finally be delivered as the key that will open your next doors. We have now arrived at that secret place where time seems to stop, and only my voice matters to your spirit. You began this journey with a heavy heart, fearing that my correction would be the final weight that would cause you to crumble, but now you realize that my hands were never here to diminish you. I used every adjustment, every pruning and every silence to expand you, to make you greater than your pain and more resilient than your falls. Your heart, which once felt like a mosaic of shards, now beats with the rhythm of my own life. I restored your dignity as a daughter and placed new shoes on your feet so that you may walk upon the promises I have drawn on your horizon. Remember that promise I made to you at the very beginning, when your heart was still uncertain and you wondered if you would truly leave this encounter with an answer. Well, the hour of revelation has arrived. The spiritual key that I now whisper in your ear, and which will serve as your shield against any accusation from the world or your own memory, is this: I can do all things through him who strengthens me. This is not just a phrase, it is the declaration of your new reality. Write it right now in the comments, with all the strength of your soul, and as an act of total surrender to heaven. I can do all things through him who strengthens me. By writing these words, you seal the restoration I have accomplished in you today, and declare that my strength is what sustains you, regardless of the size of the challenge before you. I see the peace that now floods your home, and the brightness that has returned to your eyes. But do not think that my conversation with you ends here. Heaven still has profound secrets and clear directions that I wish to reveal to your soul in other moments of intimacy. There is much more that my love wants to show you about the treasures I have kept for your future. If you feel the desire to continue hearing my voice, look for our list of saved messages on this channel. There, I will continue to guide your steps and heal the areas that still need my touch. Abide in me, for I abide in you forever. Beloved daughter, what I have restored today in secret, the world will witness with astonishment and glory, for you are the living proof of my love that never fails.